You're all on always. Big Sills time. Right on time, as always. Truth, justice, and the Big Sills way. Hey, we appreciate everybody coming here each and every single day. Thank you guys so much. By the way, we are powered by our great friends at BetUS. Make sure you check their website out. We implore you to do that during this holiday season and during this football season. Great time to go there and make your wagers. They have live wagers on all major games, so make sure you get their college and pro. Everything you need with our great friends there, JAKIB and BetUS. That being said, I've had it. Oh, and we always start the show off with the traditional Big Sills. It's Christmas time. December. You start to get an idea where you are in the NFL and what teams look like the contending teams when it comes to being a Super Bowl contender, right? You start to have an idea where you are right now. Okay? Starting to get an idea, correct? All right. Eagles are 10-2. Hey, I'll tell you one thing, though, man. I've never seen an NFL football team in the modern era where you're averaging 190 yards rushing and you're averaging 180 yards passing. I've never seen that. I've only seen that shit in college. But hey, you're 10-2 with an MVP candidate. Holy shit, man. By the way, hey, congratulations. You'll be battling it out with the Carolina Panthers on who has the shittiest passing game this week. The Carolina Panthers at 29 or the Eagles at 28. Congratulations. Hey, man, you have something in common with Carolina. You both suck throwing the ball. Okay. Hey, you're 10-2. You're 10-2. And you have the same passing game as the Carolina Panthers with Big Red and with Bryce Young, who, by the way, hasn't played all that bad the last 4 weeks. Carolina's getting a little bit better. Seal's going to pick the Panthers this week. Watch. Depends on what the points are. Hey, get this. You and the Panthers are fighting it out for the worst passing attack in pro football, 28 to 29. And only in Philly, man, can you beat 10-2. 10-2. There you go. All right. 29th to 28th worst passing attacks. By the way, our top 10 best teams, quarterbacks. My rookie vote went in for Defensive Rookie of the Year, NFL honors. We will tell you what that is. Nick Sirianni, also the coordinator, spoke. How you doing? Say it, Josh Allen. They're winning the Super Bowl. I'm not there yet, but hey, 304. By the way, guys, please hit the like button. You guys broke it yesterday at 187 in the first 15 minutes. That was sensational. Absolutely sensational. Great stuff yesterday, and we appreciate that. Please hit the like button, and all supers like 304s go to the top. So I'm sick and tired of people sending me over on my X account, Josh Allen versus Jalen Hurts. It's a fucking joke. Here, go by the numbers. They're both 10-2. Okay? Stop with this shit. Hurts is nowhere in the conversation with MVP talk. And he's nowhere in the conversation with what Josh Allen's doing in Buffalo. Why are you fucking even trying to compare that offense to what Allen's doing by carrying his football team? Imagine Josh Allen with the Eagle offense. It would be insane. Here, let's do this. Here's who Josh Allen throws to. Khalil Shakir, Keon Coleman, and everybody, for all they're saying about Amari Cooper, he's on pace he's got 383 yards right now on the season. The fuck are you talking about? He's got a running back that won't get 1,000 yards this year in James Cook. Barkley's got a guy that's going to run the ball for 21-24. Hurts himself is almost at 700 yards. A.J. Brown's at 1,200 yards receiving. And even Devontae, missing all the time, is going to get 900 yards. The fuck are you talking about? He throws to Khalil Shakir, and Keon Coleman. And you have the best O-line in football. What are you talking about? How in the world do you compare what one guy's doing in Buffalo with a limited roster to what he has, and he is limited as a passer? What in the world are you talking about? Look at this. JoJo says Allen chokes in big games. No, Allen loses big games to Mahomes. That guy's not losing to Baker Mayfield. He's not fucking losing at Baker Mayfield. That guy's not losing to a guy like that. He's just not. Your guy is. Allen is Superman. Hurts is Alfred. Alfred the Butler and Batman? That's probably more right than you know. Look at this. So here's Josh Allen, what he's trending to do. Around 3,800 yards passing, almost 30 touchdowns and 7 picks with a 100.3 rating. And the completion percentages were not where I wanted to be at 64.6. Hurts is at 35-33, 20 touchdowns, 7 picks, 68 completion percentage. The only thing he does better or is doing better right now is the completion percentage. Everything else, Allen is fucking by far the better player, and it's not even a conversation. Hey, all you have to do is use your eyeballs. Watch the game. All you have to do is watch the football game. And then you tell me what guy does more for his team. Very simple. Watch the game. It's not a debate. Dude, Khalil Shakar and Keon Coleman versus Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown. Are you fucking hot? And Saquon Barkley and that O-line. Are you fucking nuts? Zander, I missed the super chat. Please, guys, all super chats go to the top. Allen is way better, but Hurts does what's needed. Okay. Absolutely true. He doesn't do anything spectacular. Jalen Hurts is not a spectacular player. He's a really good player. There is no question. He's a really good football player. He is not spectacular. You tune on the film and you watch Josh Allen, and you tune on the film and you watch Jalen Hurts, it's not even a conversation. Dude, the team is fucking 4-0. Dude, Arthur thinks that Jalen Hurts, with all the gifted talents and all the things around him, is a better football player than Josh. Nobody on the planet thinks that. Nobody on the planet. Nobody. I get these people sending these statistics. Let me ask you this. Don't you think that passing game should be better than 28th if your guy's so spectacular? I mean, quite frankly, Josh Allen's playing better without Stephon Diggs. He's better. He's more efficient. I mean, your guy loses one guy, they have to hand the ball off 40 times. They're not counting on Hurts. Hurts is not winning you games. You know what they're asking him to do? Not lose games. Get this, today, Kellen Moore was questioned about the passing game. He diverted the questions. He didn't want to answer them. He didn't want to do it. You know why? Because, quite frankly, they have no answers. They have no answers. None. Yeah, okay. And look at Senorita. And your guy lost to fucking Zach Wilson. Give me a break, guy. Zach Wilson. And the starting quarterback now for the Giants, who was in Seattle. And the pizza guy who got fucking benched. And they had all their players then. Give me a break. Trying to compare Josh Allen and fucking Jalen Hurts is like comparing the moon and the sun. Gotta be fucking kidding me. Honestly, man, it's a joke. All right. There is no doubt this Carolina Panther team, there is nothing that they do remotely good. So we're going to hit on that a little bit here. We're also going to go into Vic and Kellen here. I mean, I got so many emails today trying to tell me about Josh Allen and Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts has done nothing remotely close to carrying a team this year. He's been effective. He's not turned the ball over. They're not asking him to do anything because they don't, to Zander's point, because they got a thoroughbred in the backfield. The only way, hey, let's do this. I wish Bob Brown was in here. Bob, are you in here? The only reason that the 2024 Philadelphia Eagle offense is better is because of one guy, Saquon Barkley. Injuries to the receivers and the quarterback still being the quarterback. The only thing that's improved the 2024 offense from 2023 is that they've limited the quarterback, and it's more of an indictment on what John McMullen said by running the RPOs. They haven't improved that offense. Saquon Barkley has improved the offense. You're not better as a passing unit than you were a year ago. And you're going to go, well, they're turning the ball over less. Yeah, because the quarterback's not throwing the ball more. That's exactly what's happened. Barkley improved the offense, not Hurts. Not Hurts. Eagles 13-point favorites over Panthers. Yeah, that sounds right. That sounds right. Okay? That sounds right. So wait a minute here. Dawes says, Tom Brady said throwing over 35 times is overrated. Don't care how great your quarterback is. I would say that that's correct. The higher the number, the worse you get. Absolutely. I think you have to be between 25 and 30. You're not even in that room. Okay? That offense makes you look stupid every week, Sills. That offense doesn't make me look stupid. You're December 3rd. We'll see. I don't think he can win a Super Bowl with a team that rushes the ball more than throws the ball. There's only 5 teams worse than you. And you don't think you're going to need a passing game. All right. I want to see that. Because I haven't. To that extent. You're averaging more rushing yards than passing yards. You're not even, it's not even, I've never seen that with a contending Super Bowl team. I have never seen that. I've never seen that. Okay? Never. I've never seen it. So we're going to play this out. They got 2 games left of noteworthy. They got the Commanders and they've got the Steelers. Should they be favored in those games? Absolutely. Do they have a better team than those guys? Absolutely. All right. So let's get it. Let's listen to what, and by the way, I can't wait to get into what the coordinators say. You know why? Because everything I just said, they said today. Get this. Here. Sills will not name one defense that will stop the Eagles' run game in the playoffs. Yet to be determined. Sills will not. Let's see. When is the win? Teams can't stop the run. Okay. Your quarterback doesn't make plays enough to win a Super Bowl. Let's see if they even get there. That's right, Mark. Hey, that's the wide receiver that's elite in Buffalo. Holy cow. And by the way, let's do this. Super chats go to the top here. And we're going to listen to what the coordinator said, because everything I just told you, the coordinators echoed it today. I love how you emphasize things when you are critical, but you talk softly when you're showing praise. Okay. Well, then I'll tell you what I'll do right now, JB. I wrote down what all the coordinators said today. And let's see if what I said is what was echoed today with the coordinators, Kellen Moore and Vic Fangio. Okay? So here's Kellen. Said Barkley's a special player and having a special season, no question. The wide receivers right now are doing a spectacular job in the run game. They're opening it up, and you can actually see them guys being more engaged in the run game, and it's really great to see. Tell you what, you're spending $51 million on wide receivers to block for Barkley. That'll be a conversation, especially with that organization, on how they want to throw the ball. Wow. I can't think AJ's happy about that. This guy's back to Tennessee days. Do you understand that, right? With a couple more targets to him, he's back to playing like he was in Tennessee. You're 10-2. First 25 scripted. They said it's a work in progress. I don't get it. They want to throw the ball in the first 25. You're not good enough to throw the ball. When are you going to come to reality and see that your quarterback is not good enough to play on script? Jesus Christ, how many more games do you have to see before you scrap the whole thing and go, let's just go off script here and let's just go with what we think works best by running the ball and doing the RPOs and doing that? Why is it so in their ego that they have to put the first 25 plays on script when they know the quarterback all year has blown at it? That's a Hurts issue. That's a Jalen Hurts issue. 25 plays. Zander said it yesterday. What is with the pass, 3 and out. You're out. It's stalled. All of a sudden, they get off script. They start running the ball. And there they go, and they're on their way. When are they going to come to the realization that that quarterback is not a non-script ball player? Dude, I don't really think Josh Allen is. I don't think Lamar is. I think there's very few quarterbacks in the league that could go off a script like that. Purdy, Stafford, Burrow, Mahomes, not even Mahomes at times. He'll go off script. It's dude, I mean, when are you going to can that? Their emphasis to have Jalen part of what's going on is so shown in that first 25 scripted plays. It's the biggest failure. That's why you know your passing game hasn't gotten better. He can't execute the first 25. And no answers for it. They don't know why. I mean, am I wrong? But see, what you guys will do is call it play calling. The Sills have Veteran Stadium in the background. Absolutely. Just get off it. Go to the RPO. There's nothing wrong with that. I agree with Zander. Go to the RPO. Why are you trying to do that? It makes no sense. It just makes no sense. Please hit the like button. We appreciate it. Okay? Sills, I told you at the beginning of the year that Hurts wouldn't have to do a lot to be successful in this offense. And stop indicting him. I'm not indicting him. Indicting him for what? For what? Him being not able to execute the first 25 scripted plays? It's evident he can't. He can't execute them. Do you think they are trying to hold the RPO until the playoffs, kind of like Mo? Yeah. I'm starting to think that a little more because you're starting to see more. How about this, Samuel? It's a good take. I think they're starting to implicate I think they're starting to put it in the offense more because I think they are getting ready for the playoffs with it. I'll say it again. When he ran that RPO against the Ravens, I thought he was brilliant. When they ran that RPO, he was brilliant. Okay? Absolutely great. You always give the assumption that Hurts is shitty, and he's not. I didn't say that. I said he can't execute the first 25 plays. Coaches are trying to take it as something that's their fault. It's not their fault. And by the way, Kellen Moore has added nothing to the offense. How he did. He added Barkley. He didn't add anything. He did not add anything. 10-2. Mekhi Becton, Kellen was asked. Eagles plus 25 to win the NFC. Is that a good value? Yeah. I would take that. Mekhi Becton has been spectacular. I'm sorry. You can sign Zach Bond if you want. I'm signing Mekhi Becton over him. That guy's playing better and better and better and better and better. And he's a more valued player than that linebacker. Bro, you suck at delivering your message. It's your delivery. It's like a 2-year-old. I get when you're saying now, it just takes a while to figure out what the fuck you're trying to say. Kellen Moore, take is idiotic. What did he improve? Smack. What did he improve? Hey, if Prince wants to insult me and pay for it, I don't have a problem with it. Anybody wants to pay to insult me? Have at it. Just like Easy-E says, you paid for it. I have a problem with it. You want to pay to rip me? Have at it. No problem. You paid for it. Mekhi Becton is playing great. And since his transformation over to guard, it's been absolutely spectacular. He's more impressive than Zach Bond. Watch him on tape. He's a more impressive player. Okay? Bond is having a really, as good as you think Zach Bond is having a year, Becton is having a better one. Okay? He is having a better year. Boy, I'll tell you what, whatever was going on in New York, the Jets are between the Jets and the Giants. Do you guys understand that the Jets and the Giants might fuel the Eagles to the Super Bowl with Barkley and Becton? Both those teams gave a piece to what could be a Super Bowl championship team to the Eagles. Barkley and Becton. That's insane. The New York Jets and Giants look like they're helping the Eagles win the Super Bowl. That's right. Every Eagle fan should be saying, I love New York. You want to send any more players? Hey, we'll take them. Holy shit. Defensive rookie list today? Yes. Man, you got to love New York. Hey, Zach Bond's great, and he's having a great year. But Becton is, like Kellen said, watching him play now and him moving people off the ball is worth watching on tape. When you watch him on the 22, he's blowing guys 4 yards off the ball. These O-line guys don't get a lot of love because you see a guy like Zach Bond make a huge play in the backfield. It is spectacular, and it is. Watch the way that guy blows people off the ball. If you notice, the majority of the runs are over the right side between Becton and Cam Jurgens. Or they're running that sweep play and all the – dude, Micaiah Becton at 6'9", 6'8", can pull? Where was that in New York? I watched him in New York with the Jets. He flopped around. That's not the same guy. I have no idea what's up. That guy's not – is that the kid – hey, Zander, is that the kid from Louisville? Is he from Louisville? That when he was a big kid that went in the first round. Did he play at Louisville? Because I remember he may have played with Lamar Jackson. I mean, I thought he was a Louisville kid. Hey man, unbelievable. Okay, I did not see that guy. I did not see that guy with the Jets. Guys, he flopped around. Kellen Moore's like, Jesus, man. Watching him play is insane. Sills, you're my boy, but you have to stop moving the goalposts. I sent Zander a graphic on Facebook. Dude, hey, Anthony, there's no moving the goalpost. Josh Allen carries his football team and has to do everything. Jalen Hurts just have to sit there and hand the ball off. He's not – and not turn the ball over. Are you trying to tell me, Anthony, you think the same talent is in Buffalo as it is in Philadelphia? You're out of your mind. Do you understand that the Bills have the 20th worst ranked offensive line? They got a running back that probably will get around 800 yards this year, and they don't have any 1,000-yard receivers. And yet that fucking guy's 10-2 and carrying a football team on his back. What the fuck are you talking about? You got a guy that's having a generational year with Barkley. You got 2 first-round picks you're paying $50 million plus to, and you've got the richest offensive line in football. What are you talking about? Dude, Allen is a bus driver. Hurts is a bus rider. End of story. End of story. End of story. It's not remotely close. He said that, Kellen said that, yep, Brett Veach is pretty good, doing a good job. Said that Carolina's playing better. Dude, that's an indictment on Jalen. He's throwing to Keon Coleman, and who's the other guy? Shikari who? Kahil Shikar. Who the fuck is these guys? Jesus criminy. Dude. Oh, plus, Anthony, do me a favor. Just turn the tape on. What? I mean, get this, James. This guy's trying to compare Jalen Hurts' numbers to Josh Allen's numbers, and Josh Allen has 10 times less talent. Until Allen wins a ring, who cares? Until Hurts wins a ring, who cares? They have played better the last 4 weeks, Carolina. They have. By the way, all supers go to the top. Anthony, thank you. Yeah, so Kellen was asked the question about the passing game. And Kellen diverted it. Said, yeah, well, right now we're in a run mode. Okay? Okay, hey, by the way, guys, today we're going to have Mel Reese at 3:30. Zander's going to be with us at 4:30. So we will have Merrill on. And by the way, we're working on trying to still get Brian Westbrook. We sent Brian an email. Hopefully we get Brian Westbrook on and get his thoughts on the year that Saquon Barkley's having, because Saquon Barkley is having just a spectacular season. And he may just actually get to that 2105. We'll see how that works out. Okay? Says I wouldn't be surprised if they open with the RPO against the Steelers in the Commander game and use 25 plays against the Giants and Cowboys and Panthers. I love it. Why not? Try to get the passing game going against the Cowboys and Giants in Panthers, I would. The Panthers do nothing well. Okay? They do nothing well at all. So, I mean, we're going to get to who they are here in a minute. By the way, guys, give me a total right now on where we are with the likes. I appreciate you guys coming aboard. Thank you. Let me get this right. Allen's been in the league longer than Hurts and is a better quarterback, but Hurts beat him getting to the Super Bowl. Yeah, Hurts beat him. I didn't know Hurts played corner. Hurts played corner? Is that right? How stupid can you be? Yeah, wait a minute now. Let me get this right. Jalen Hurts beat Mahomes in the regular season last year. Does that count? Does that count? Does it? This is about winning Super Bowls here. Games that matter, NFC titles, playoff games. It's not about 10-2. And that includes Allen. Do you know that Jalen Hurts has not won more than Josh Allen in the last 4 years? Do you know that? He's 45-17. He's got to win a Super Bowl too. Or he'll beat Jim Kelly. Hey, man. Hey, look. Wait a minute here. I'll tell you this. If you don't want to compare Hurts to the best players in the game, then he's having a great career. But if you start comparing him to the better players in the league, everything becomes category-wise. There's one guy now, it's Mahomes. The second guy in the league was Aaron Rodgers. He's out because he's not the player he was. Russell Wilson is back to ascending again. He's been to 2 Super Bowls and won one of them. Stafford's in that conversation because he's won playoff games, NFC titles. Golf is in that. Won NFC title games. Jalen has got a chip on an NFC title game. Okay? All of that is relative. What's your message on a week like this to a team? My read is don't sleep on Carolina. Get in, take care of business, and don't mess around. Josh, these are the games and weeks that I hate the most, especially when you're a contending team. But hey, you know one thing that they do? Stay on the gas pedal. Keep it. Hey, I'd run 50 on them. If I could score 50 points on Carolina, I would. Because you know why? If Carolina can't stop me, I don't care. This is about me maintaining where I am right now. What I don't want to do is throttle anything down right now. You know, that's why a lot of teams don't like to take the final week off, even when you've clinched home field. You know why? They don't want to throttle down. The worst thing that can ever happen to a team is that the last game of the year doesn't matter, and you have 2 weeks before you play a game. I don't want any of that. That's why you see some teams before playing as hard as they can, even against shitty teams. Not Hurts' fault, Eagle. That's not the point. Not Hurts' fault. That's not reality, though. Hey, Anthony, he's got by far a bigger team than Allen. Nobody said it was. Nobody said that. One more time. The Buffalo Bills don't have one guy in that fucking huddle who could start in Philly except the quarterback. Doesn't that tell you anything? It's not one guy in that huddle. Not one guy. Hurts could never start in Buffalo. That guy carries that fucking team on his back. If Allen doesn't play well, then he don't win. If Jalen plays like he played last week effectively, they win. Because why? The bell cow's Barkley. They're the best player in the huddle. There's 2 other players, AJ and Barkley. There's nobody even remotely close in Buffalo, close to that guy in talent. Nobody. That's nobody's fault. Dude, that's the way it is in Kansas City. That's the way it is in Green Bay. That's the way it is when you have elite quarterbacks. The quarterback is the top dog in the cuddle. The only place that doesn't work is San Francisco and Philly. Got to put great players around those guys. Unfortunately. Well, that's not unfortunate. You're 10-2. Hey, you're making it sound like it's a bad thing. I'm just telling you, stop with the MVP conversation. When you're talking about what Jalen is perfectly set and built for what the Eagles are doing. They're going to run the ball more than pass, and they're going to try to beat teams and win a Super Bowl by not throwing the ball a lot. I don't know why you paid for your wideouts, because now they're blockers. That's okay. You're 10-2. But don't tell me your offense has improved. Barkley improved it. Hurts didn't. Oh, yeah, wait. Hurts is not turning the ball over. That's because he's not throwing it a lot. Higher volume, more chances of turnovers. Jesus, criminy. Doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure that out. If I throw the ball 15 more times, I'm going to have an opportunity to turn the ball over more. Well, they're not. Okay. This is who you are. Hurts is not carrying your team. Okay? To a Super Bowl. The running back is. That's okay. That's how you're built. Hurts is not an MVP. The O-line is. Dude, I'll tell you what, Anthony. Here's something else. Anthony, I wrote this down on my Twitter. You tell me this. We'll go off topic here a little bit. Then we're going to get to Vic Fangio here in a second. Guys, please hit the like button here. I want to ask you this. Guys, please, all supers go to the top here. Listen. Now, it's kind of unfair because you know the ending story with the Cowboys and the 92-93 O-line. Mark Tunay, Nate Newton, Mark Stebnoski, Kevin Gogan, Eric Williams. That's the 1992. Hey, Anthony, that's the 1992-93 Dallas Cowboys offensive line. The Eagles, Jordan Mailata, Landon Dickerson, Cam Jurgens, Micaiah Becton, and Lane Johnson. Who's a more talented group? Jordan Mailata or Mark Tunay? Two Samoans. Tunay was a dear friend. Committed suicide. Mailata's better. And Mark's a friend. Mailata's better. Landon Dickerson or Nate Newton? God, I like Landon. Man, I love Nate. Nate's a 6-time Pro Bowler. Nate's a 6-time Pro Bowler. I'm going to go Nate. Two great players. Cam Jurgens or Stebnoski. Believe it or not, I'm going to go Cam Jurgens. I played against Mark. I'll take Cam Jurgens. I'll take Cam. By the way, that Nate Newton, Landon Dickerson is not far it's like razor thin. Becton or Kevin Gogan? This is going to be fucking crazy. You ready? I'm going to take Micaiah Becton. I played against Kevin. And I played against Mark, and I played against Nate. Nate was excellent. He was left-handed, and he was hard to get around. He was shorter than you thought. Like 6'2". But he could play. He had great feet. Let me do it again. I'm taking Mailata over Mark Tunay, who I love. God rest his soul. Landon and Nate. I'm going to go Nate. Razor thin. Razor thin. I played against and practiced against this Cowboy line. Cam Jurgens or Stebnoski. I killed Mark. So I'm going to take Cam. I love Mark. Becton or Gogan. Kevin Gogan was a really good football player. He was. So just to compare the old lines is a compliment. Thank you. That's what I'm saying. And I think it is comparable and compatible. Lane or Eric Williams? Lane or Eric Williams? God bless it. I didn't think this was this close. I'm going to take Lane. And if I had to put the group together, what's a better group? The 92, 93 Cal. Now, remember, they had Emmett. And Barkley's having an Emmett Smith type of year. So it's a pretty good look. All right. It's a pretty good look. And, I mean, I think the Eagle old line's better than the Cowboys 92, 93 line. And I know they got 3 Super Bowls. I know they do. But, dude, I'll take Mulata over Tune. Nate, I would probably take over Landon. But Landon is probably the second best lineman on the team. Juergens, I'd take over Stebnoski. Becton, I would take over Gogan. Gogan, I would take over him. And Lane and Eric Williams are so close, but I would take Lane. Man. I mean, that's how good that O-line is. I mean, that's how good that offensive line is. Okay? I mean, it's not really fair because Emmett was a better runner. I mean, Abe. Emmett made that O-line great. The Eagle O-line was already great. Look at the 2 backs you had with 1,000-yard rushers prior. But Emmett has the Emmett has the numbers. Emmett has the numbers. He had 10 straight years of over 1,000 yards. But dude, again, Barkley's having an Emmett year. Okay? He's having an Emmett year. So, yeah, Emmett, the longevity. Jalen or Aikman? They both do the same. 24 Eagles, 92, 93 Cowboys, except Aikman greater than Hurts. And I would make the wide receiver too, AJ versus Irvin. I would take Michael because I'm biased. Okay, I'm biased, but I don't really think Troy Aikman did a ton of things. I think Aikman turned around and handed the ball off. Would anybody really say that Troy Aikman was a Hall of Fame quarterback when you watched him play? I don't know. And I love Troy. Do you think they could have got anybody else in there and won Super Bowls with Emmett running the ball like that? I do. I mean, and I love Troy. I'm friends with him. But do you think you could put a guy in there that doesn't turn the ball over and hand it to Emmett? Yeah. Make some critical third down plays. That's kind of what they're asking Hurts to do. Could Hurts run that Cowboy offense? Yeah, I probably think so. I don't really think much of Troy Aikman's career. I think more of Emmett and the O-line. I think he was a product of that whole thing. Okay? Just, okay. Yeah. That's how I looked at Troy too, man. The dude was a FedEx guy. Hey, he turned around, handed the ball off, threw the ball on third down, didn't turn it over, don't have turnovers. It's kind of what they're asking Hurts to do. Now, is that a remedy to win Super Bowls? The only difference is the decades are different. And today, the Eagles aren't, I mean, they got to throw the ball a little more in today's game because back then the running back was an essential part. Okay? Here. See, look, this is a fantastic take. You could put Jared Goff in that Cowboy O-line and they would win a Super Bowl. Yeah, definitely. Here, quarterbacks that will win Super Bowls with that Cowboy 92, 93 O-line and Emmett and Irvin, Brock Purdy, probably Jalen, Goff. I'm not Mahomes, of course. Burrow, Allen, Baker Mayfield. I mean, look, well, Trent Dilfer won a Super Bowl because Jamal Lewis ran for 2,000 yards that season, if I'm not mistaken. They had that great defense on that side of the ball. They ran the ball. That was 1999 or 2000. They beat the Giants in the Super Bowl in Tampa. Something like, I think it was that, 99 or 2000. They beat the Giants. And Jim Fossil's Giants, I think it was. Hey, I'll tell you this. Sammy goes, Sills, what about Jameis Winston? If I'm the Browns, I bring him back. I offer him a contract. Shame Shula couldn't get Marino and Barkley or Smith. Marino didn't want it, Laura. He didn't want to improve the run game. That was the big rift between Jimmy Johnson and with Dan Marino. Dan Marino didn't want a running game. Dan Marino wanted he wanted just to continue to throw the ball. Dan never, I think he had 1,000-yard rusher in his entire career. And Jimmy was trying to put a running game in there. Jimmy tried trading him to the Pittsburgh Steelers. But Wayne Huizenga came in 86 that. Jimmy was going to send him back to Pittsburgh. He wanted Dan Marino off the team because he knew he couldn't win a Super Bowl because they couldn't run the ball. Jimmy believed that if you can't run the ball, you can't win a Super Bowl. And Wayne Huizenga voided the contract that was being sent to the Rooneys to put Marino back where he was from in Pittsburgh. Went to school at Pitt. I think he's a Western Pennsylvania guy himself. Okay. Get this. Ambler says that Jimmy Johnson had terrible drafts in Miami. Funny, he drafted 2 Hall of Famers and not in first rounds. This guy says Jimmy Johnson had bad drafts in Miami, and he drafted 2 Hall of Famers in Jason Taylor and Zach Thomas. One was a 6th rounder and the other was a 3rd rounder. Pretty bad. Pretty bad. 2 Hall of Fame football players. Yeah. Okay. I mean, okay. Hey, and by the way, once again, I love Troy, but Troy did the thing that they asked him. Hey, I'll tell you another guy who was like Troy Aikman, Phil Simms. Don't turn the ball over. Hand the ball to Otis Anderson or to Morris or to Dave Meggett and those guys, and that's how you're going to win a Super Bowl. I mean, Phil Simms didn't throw the ball around the yard a lot. They played within a system and in a culture. Okay, I mean, you've seen Phil on this show about 5 or 6 times. And by the way, when I say not respect, I do respect Aikman's career because Troy had the insight not to get above himself and have ego get in the way of that 92-93 team. And then, of course, the 3 Super Bowls that he won. So I want to put context on that. I do have respect for him. Tremendous respect for him. Okay? Tremendous. Let's get to Vic Fangio here. So I thought when I looked at that old line, your offensive line, I played against that line, that Cowboy line. So I've got firsthand knowledge. I practiced every day against that line. Okay? And when I watched the Eagle O-line, you could take it from me. I played against Stebnoski, college and pro. I played one-on-one drills against Nate. I played against Tune. I played against Kevin Gogan. I played against Eric Williams. I know how good that line is. And watching Malata, Dickerson, Juergens, Becton, and Johnson, that's as good as it gets. That's as good as it gets. Okay? That's as good as it gets. Charlie says that Vic's doing a fantastic job. Chris goes, I hated Jimmy Johnson coaching the Dallas Cowboys. He and Buddy were You know what's crazy too, Chris? I've posted numerous times. Hey, I pointed this out to you. Buddy coached me when I was in college, and he and Jimmy were great friends. And what I loved about the relationship with Buddy Ryan and myself was that he came down for 2 straight years and coached me and Stubbs and Jerome at Miami. And those 2 guys were dear friends. They would go out to lunch. The first year that Buddy got the job in Philadelphia in '86, they came down, the entire coaching staff, and sat around with us for an entire week because they wanted to watch the spread offense that we ran, and they wanted to get more stuff in there for Cunningham. That's what Buddy wanted. He wanted more spread offense, so Jimmy invited him down. We had a guy on our staff by the name of Gary Stevens who was the architect of the spread college offense. He would go on to be a coordinator in Miami, I believe, but he won a national title. I think he may have been on that Super Bowl team with North Turner too. And Gary Stevens was a phenomenal offensive coordinator. And he was the architect of a spread in college football. And so Buddy came down, and they sat down a full week with us. And they did that 2 years in a row. And Buddy would come in when the offensive coaches were in the rooms with the offense. Buddy would come in and talk to Butch Davis, myself. Jimmy was in there, and Jerome and Stubbs and myself and Bill Hawkins and Russell Maryland, all them guys. We're all sitting in the room in there, and Buddy Ryan's coaching us up. Eagles defense now versus the 92-9, nowhere near it. Nowhere near that. Don't do that. Okay. 1991 Eagles defense. I like doing shit like this. I do. I like doing this. It's not even remotely in the room. I mean, I don't like this is not a fair comparison when you're talking about how good that defense was. That defense was so underrated. It was just so underrated. Here you go. So underrated. That thing was so good. God, could they play? That team was just so good. And they were good at every position. Just good at every position. And I would say this, that's the greatest defense the Eagles have ever had. That 91 group with Seth and those guys. Just too good. Here for context. You look at the raw numbers in NFL history, the 91 Eagles. I mean, Quarterbacks completed just 39% versus passes. It was the lowest rate that any defense had given up since 1968. They had an NFL record 55 sacks, 43 forced fumbles, 27 interceptions. Defense they held the rushing to 2.85 per carry, lowest since 1956. Packers, as good as it gets. I mean, personally, I think it's better than the Bucs defense. The thing was just too good, man. Clyde Simmons on the edge and Reggie and Keith and Jerome in the middle. It's just too good. Linebackers were off the charts great. Secondary was hitters and knockout artists. Eagles are so good on the road. I don't know if Dallas has home or if Detroit has home field or not. I want they buy for our boys to rest up. You want to buy for the boys to rest up, but if it comes down to it, I trust this team. I don't trust Detroit. Detroit has to go outside and play in the NFC title game. I just don't. I don't like dome teams. And I made the point to you that dome teams really don't win. I mean, there's very few teams in NFL history that have actually won that were dome teams. I mean, very few teams have done that. Sills, where do you rank Jimmy and all-time coaches? I got him 2 because college and I don't think – here's the problem with Coach Johnson. Coach Johnson didn't stay long. He stayed 5 years in Dallas, and then he played another 3 or 4. I think he had a 9-year career. You'd have to compare it to more like a Lombardi, but Lombardi had won 5 titles in 9 years. So you can't really go there. He won 2. If you want to give him the 3rd, that Switzer kind of was handed, then you can go there, 3 and 9. But I don't think you could put him on the all-time list. As an overall coach, college and pro, he's high up on the list. But if you look at Jimmy's resume, Coach Johnson never stayed anywhere more than 5 years. He got bored. Jimmy got bored a lot. And he wasn't going to stay in Dallas for a long time anyway. He gets bored and he looks for new challenges. It's kind of what he does. Saints, Rams, and Colts are the only teams probably to win. Hey, I've said this before too. I'll say it to you too, Ambler. The Minnesota Vikings went to 4 Super Bowls. Okay? 4 Super Bowls. Playing at the Met in Minneapolis outside. When they put the top on the Hubert H. Humphrey Dome, and now this new place they're in, they've never been back to a Super Bowl. They took the home field advantage that Buffalo now has. How would you like to go play if Kansas City could probably handle it, but how would you like to be Indianapolis and have to go and play up in Buffalo, an AFC championship game in 60 feet of snow? Daunting. Or the Dolphins to have to go up there and play. When you're up there in that snow and you can't see shit, you can't kick it, you can barely catch it. That's why the Eagles, if you really want to look at it and you want me to be fair to you, are the Eagles built for winter months and winter Super Bowl to get in the game? Let's just take a look at it. If Detroit has home field, that takes one of their advantages away. Detroit's great in the dome. They're great in a controlled environment. The Eagles play outdoors. They play in cold weather. Detroit doesn't. They don't even practice in cold weather. That's why Belichick, every year, no matter what, they never used the inside facility when it came to the playoffs. They were going to play in it. He's like, why the fuck will we play and practice inside when we're not going to play inside? He never did that. That's why the only team that they never owned in the playoffs was who? Baltimore. Because Baltimore went up there and they could play in the cold with them. And that's why Baltimore had a really good record at Gillette. Okay? Well, when you got Indianapolis, one of the reasons why Indianapolis had to have home field and have to have the Patriots go to their place. I mean, if they didn't, they were going to get beat up there. They always got beat. Always got beat when they went up there. By the way, Mel Reese will join us at 3:30. Zander's going to join us at around 4:30. We are efforting, believe it or not, our friend Brian Westbrook. We're hoping that he'll hit that link and jump aboard with us because we reached out to him. He reached out to me a couple times today too. So we're hoping that we can land him and see if we can get him today. So keep your fingers crossed on Brian Westbrook. Let's get to Vic Fangio. I thought there were some really great comments by him. Okay. Should I send him a link? Yeah, Zander, send him a link, please. And Zander, do me a favor. I'm sorry, I didn't send Zander a text message here. Zander, do me a favor. Tell him either 4:30 or 5:30. See if that works for him. See if we can get it. And maybe we get him here with us here today. I thought Vic, once again, was absolutely awesome. He was asked a question out of the gate about Tristan McCullum. He says he likes his talent. He can run to the ball well. He thinks he needs more reps. He goes, I like the player. If you're McCullum, you're hearing that? Wow. Vic likes me. Which means this, practice harder. There is one thing that is becoming evident and clear. Evident and clear with Vic Fangio. If you practice hard, you're going to play. That is a kudo to the coach. It doesn't matter what you're making. It doesn't matter where you're drafted. It doesn't matter anything. If you practice hard, you're going to play for Vic Fangio. That is a coach you want to play for. That is a really great way. I'll tell you what, man. He has absolutely been a steal of a coordinator. Now I see why they went out of their way. Okay. Okay. Sills, you heard that zing against AI, Vic said. Yeah, I heard it. We'll get to that. He asked the question about why the secondary is playing so well. And it does come down to preparation, communication, all of that. All the stuff you do Monday through Saturday. Those guys are on the same page. There's a communication skill set going on, and these guys are all connected. These guys understand one another. They're connecting with one another. They're communicating with one another. If you can't do all those things first, I don't care how talented you are. And that's coaching. That's coaching. Jalen Carter held on every play. Is there anything they could do about it? He said something about there was one that was totally egregious, that he just was just absolutely pulled down. Again, when you watch it, you could see he's almost held every single play. Baltimore had him almost. I mean, Taylor Linderbaum held him every play. I thought you could have called it. That's what happens when you're a great player. You're going to command that kind of attention, and he's elevating his game and getting better and better and better and better and better. I heard somebody bring up Jerome's name, and that's who we've been comparing him to. The guy I played next to. They're very similar. Vic didn't want to go down that road. I don't know if Vic ever had a chance to. Well, he may have, because he was in Philly at the time with the USFL. And I know Jerome knew a lot of those guys over at the USFL. So he may have run into Jerome a few times when he was coaching the Stars. He may have run into him. So he didn't want to compare Jalen Carter to Jerome. But I will. I've never compared anybody to him. I haven't seen anybody. Maybe Sapp. Okay? Maybe Sapp. I thought Jerome was better against the run. I think Sapp may have been a little bit better of a pass rusher. Jerome was by far a better teammate. Sapp's awful good. Sapp might be the best three-technique pass rusher second best to Aaron Donald. And he could play the run. Okay? He could play the run. Do you think Thursday determines who wins the NFC? I think it's a big indicator, shooter, because they still have the Bills on in another week too, Detroit. But if they take care of Green, now here, know this. I don't think you're going to lose another game. Green Bay's still kind of hanging out there. They're one game behind you. Okay, they're one game behind you. I believe they're 9-3. So it's 9-3. Minnesota's 10-2, and you have the Lions at 11-1. So you're kind of in that room with those three teams. I like Green Bay more than Minnesota, obviously. Yeah, so it's going to go a long way. He was asked the question here, guys. Zander, everyone. By the way, don't forget, bottom of the hour, Mel Reese, the legendary voice of the Eagles. Remember I told you that Clint Hurt and I have been talking about Jordan Davis playing high? And that's one of the reasons that he gets in trouble is because he plays high. Okay? That he plays high. And all of you got mad at me. Okay? All of you got mad at me because I said that. Well, here's what Vic Fangio said today. He's now a rotation guy. So he's a rotation guy. He's getting better as a pass rusher, but he's a rotation guy. He's not an every down lineman. I've been telling you that since they drafted him. And now what he's saying is this. He just plays too high sometimes. How come when I say it, I'm a dickhead? When Vic says it, that's his coach. You see, I talk to Clint Hurt every day. Every other day. The D-line coach. I know what's going on in there. Okay? I said the same thing, and I've been saying it for a month and a half about him. All of you guys are telling me how fucking great he is, and I don't understand. I'm like, I'm talking to the coach. And Vic comes out today and says he's a rotation guy, and he's not a very good pass rusher, and he plays too high at times. Is it my – oh, I know what it is. Hey, Zander, it's that delivery thing, right? Is that what it is? It's the delivery. Vic echoes what I say and been telling you for 2 years. Clint Hurt asked me, what do you make of him? He doesn't live up to his skill set. He's just such a talented guy. I just don't see it. And Clint even asked me, what do you make? Why you don't think he doesn't engage and get off blocks well. That's why he's not a good pass rusher. He runs right in the middle of the guy. You're beat. This football, and when you play D tackle, is a game of angles. Outside shoulder, inside shoulder. Lining head up is the worst thing you can do, especially in a 3 technique. So what they've done is they limited his job by making him a nose, which is a zero gap. 13th pick in the draft is a zero gap, playing 20 plays a game, and he's fucking playing great. I give Jalen Carter and a lot of people credit for trying to boost his ego. There's nothing wrong with that. But let's understand what's going on here. Your own coach said today, he plays too high at times, and he's a rotation guy. What the fuck else do you want me to say to you? You want me to give a guy kudos for having a tackle and an assist. I mean, we were talking, Zander and I can't remember who else. Hey, Jordan Davis played. I'm like, Jordan Davis didn't play well. He was okay. Don't make shit like that sound like he's not. The guy over on his left side is playing out of his mind. He's playing out of his mind. I mean, you got a guy telling you he's a rotation piece. Okay? Get this. Here. He played good, 20 plays. And the coordinator came out today and says he still plays too high. He's getting better in the pass rush, but he's more of a rotation guy. And this guy says he played great or good. Okay. I don't know what good is to you. I'll let you know what good is when I see it. The guy, Carter, is killing people. It's plain and simple when you watch it. I'll tell you exactly what I told Clint Hurd on Monday. I was like, this guy, man, I would move him around. I'd move him over to the right side, left side. I'd line him up on mismatches. I'd put him at the nose. I'd move him all around inside in there to try to get mismatches with him because he's a total mismatch. And before you know it, you're going to have to start game planning that guy. I would make them game plan him because here's the problem that you have. You don't have really good edge rushers. Okay? Move him around to create some. This was just an idea I threw at Clint. Clint said we're kind of thinking about, we've been trying to implement it the last couple months. But they don't want to overcook it. They're trying to give him and bring him along. You know what I mean? They don't want to overwhelm him. Because I'll tell you what, he's the best defensive player on that team, and that includes Zach Bond. Zach Bond ain't having a year like that without Carter playing like that. He's just playing great. He was asked the question, Vic, about, they've been playing well since the bye. A lot of shitty teams in there, but the one thing you have to now say about all those shitty teams that we questioned, they're doing it against good teams. They're doing it against shitty teams. They're consistently doing it against everyone. So that conversation is out the window. It's one thing to dominate shitty teams. It's another thing. And again, I said yesterday that Baltimore kind of still played their game. They were on their number. But they forced Baltimore into poor decision-making. That's a sign of a good defense. And, yeah, they're doing it against everybody now. Said that Bryce Young is playing better. I think that's more for the defense, just to go like this. Don't keep your guard down in any way against this guy. Bryce is playing better. They got a good running back there in Carolina. He was asked about the three-man rotation, and he was asked about Jalen Hunt. And I saw the same thing, and I conveyed that. Jalen Hunt, there were moments that he was good, and there were moments he was horrible. Okay? Baltimore didn't take advantage of it, and that's what Zander and I were talking about when it came to Lamar Jackson not taking off running. Lamar Jackson had so many more opportunities to take off running, and he didn't. There was one time that Jalen Hunt completely got blown down into the pile and thrown into the pile. They didn't take advantage of it. That's a Baltimore thing. But he said there was good and bad. That's what you're going to get with a young player, especially an experimental player. I'm not expecting great things out of him. But if you get a great moment out of him, that's gravy. Nolan Smith, he's getting better, he said. That's what I said. You're seeing sightings. Still gets blown up a bit sometimes. Good and bad. Didn't hurt. He's not hurting you like Bryce Huff is hurting you. Josh Sweat's playing out of his ass right now, too. He's playing just absolutely insane football. And he was asked the question about the Jerome Brown stuff. I'll tell you something what he said about numbers here in a minute. Jerome Brown, he's like, I don't want to go there. And it's funny. The media people in Philadelphia are asking a guy who's been a coordinator or a coach in the NFL for 42 years. Have you ever seen anything like Jalen Carter? How many people do you think Vic Fangio has watched on tape compared to Jalen Carter? John Randall, Warren Sapp, Pick'em, Keith Millard, Randy White. I mean, Jerome, Reggie. To ask that question is stupid. He's not in that room. I mean, Carter's coming along. Is Carter Reggie? Absolutely not. Is he Jerome? Getting there. Is he John Randall? No. Is he Sapp or Don? No. No. Not yet. Does he have potential? Yes. Cortez Kennedy, right. He's not in there. Hang in there. Sills, explain to me why we couldn't pass against a 31st ranked passing defense, 118 yards versus rather elementary for my Eagle standards. Brian, here, thanks for the super chat. But Brian, here, and I'm with you. I think that 28th ranked or 27th ranked passing offense is atrocious, is going to catch him. However, if I'm throwing haymakers and you can't duck, I'm going to continue to throw haymakers until you duck. And so far, 8 teams haven't ducked. So I'm going to keep throwing it. Whether I throw for 50 yards, I don't really care. If I'm throwing haymakers and I'm knocking you out and you're not ducking, that's a you thing. There's going to come a point, Brian, when they're going to have to play somebody that ducked. That's going to Barkley get nicked up. I don't know what it is. Somebody having a game out of their mind where they play against the run well. It happens. It's the NFL. Okay, it happens. But yeah, until someone ducks, Brian, their Eagles are going to, hey, they're beating teams like Cincinnati, Ravens, Commanders with one style. Usually you have to adapt like Kansas City does. See, that's the difference between Kansas City and Philadelphia. Philly's got one style. They don't have two styles. They can't beat you both ways. Okay? Kansas City can beat you both ways. That's the difference with them. And some would go, well, wait a minute. How do you know we can't beat them two ways? Because you haven't. Your first 25 plays scripted are mostly dominated with pass plays. And it's atrocious. The quarterback can't execute it. So they go back to the run. They go back to what's their bread and butter. And by the way, once again, the passing offense has not improved except the only thing, which is the most important thing, turnovers. It's the only thing that's gotten better. Your passing game hasn't gotten better. Still, the guys that have been in and out of the lineup. Okay, well, your quarterback, you still have Dallas Goedert, or you had him. You know, Devontae may have been out, but you had Goddard and AJ and Barkley, and you still couldn't find him. So, again, before we get our friend Mel Reese on, Mel's going to join us here in a couple seconds here. This is the Carolina Panthers 2024. This is who they are. Matching up against the Eagles. There's nothing really good that they do. Last 4 weeks have been better for Carolina. I think Bryce Young, they're doing a decent job of coaching him, and I got to give him a lot of credit for the way that Carolina's handled him, which has been really shitty when it comes to developing. He's done a nice job. Total offense, they're 30th, 292 total yards. The Eagles are 4th at 377.7. Obviously, mostly that is 200 yards of that is running Pass. The Eagles, here's something to think about here. You have a lot in common with Carolina here. Passing offense for the Carolina Panthers, 29th, 187 yards a game. Philadelphia Eagles, 28th, 188.8. I mean, two of the worst passing teams in the NFL. Rushing, Carolina's 24th, 105.3. Eagles are first with 188.9. We'll continue more of this here. I'll tell you something here. I had a great conversation with Clint Hurt, and we were talking about Jalen Carter. And I'm going to bring Maryland here in a second. And I had a chance to talk to him. And, I heard that Vic was asked a question about Jerome. And Clint asked me on Monday what I thought. Do you think that comparison is valid? And I said, yeah. I go, is he Jerome right now? No, obviously he's got to. But remember, he was afforded the play of having Reggie White next to him. So when you have Reggie White next to you, you're going to get more latitude when you make a mistake or a false step. I thought Vic answered the question good about Jordan Davis. Jordan still plays a little high. Okay? He's not a 3-down lineman yet. Those 23 reps he had, he was better. No question. They did a nice job of stopping the run against a very dominant run team in Baltimore. I'm pretty shocked, though. I got to say this, though. Corey Simon, Hollis Thomas, probably some of your better interior linemen since Jerome and since that 92-91 Eagle D-line. This kid here is really knocking it out of the ballpark. And so is this Eagle team at 10-2. We're so proud to be able to bring in our friend. By the way, Brian Westbrook is trying to find a time for us, too, because I want to talk to him about Saquon Barkley. Let's bring in our friend here, the voice of the Philadelphia Eagles. He's got to be – you know what I love about Merrill? You know what I love about you, Merrill? You'll look at that 10-2 and go like this, Dan, it's December 3rd, and the war of attrition is still something to be played out yet. So it's always hard to compare because you just don't know what this thing is going to look like in a couple weeks because the NFL is such a changing game.
I agree. I agree 100%. I mean, people are talking right now about Saquon Barkley projecting to beat the all-time rushing record of Eric Dickerson. And I'm just thinking about it. First of all, believe it or not, that's the last thing on Saquon's mind. He cares about winning. That's what he cares about. He doesn't care about MVP. He doesn't care about records. He cares about this team winning and winning a Super Bowl. That's what he cares about. But just thinking about it for a moment, suppose this team does continue to win. And suppose you go into week 17 with, or no, it's actually week 18, but their last game of the regular season, which is the 17th. Suppose you go into that game with everything all locked up, whether the Eagles are the 1 seed or the 2 seed. But if they go into that game and winning or losing has no effect on where they stand going into the playoffs, do you really think that Nick Sirianni is going to put, even if there's a chance to break the record, do you really think he's going to put Saquon Barkley out there? And if he asks Saquon Barkley what he wants to do, Saquon Barkley will say whatever is best for this team.
I would say this as a former player. I understand